Well, here I am this morning on my walk and talk, and I thought I would stop by this house right here. This house right here is, what do we got here? It was sold May 31st for $664,800 to Opendoor. Within 2 weeks, they put it up for sale for $720,000, June 13th. And now we're down to $587,000. That's where this home is listed, still sitting, and has been on the market 122 days. Now, I just thought that was kind of interesting. I thought before we get this walk and talk going, I would stop there because, you know, that's what this is all about, housing. So I also wanted to bring to your attention this morning, I was watching Michael Cohen. He's an Australian, and he does a YouTube channel about financials, and he reported today that there was Australian internet shutdown on the banks, and the reserve, the Federal Reserve, or the Central Bank I should say, of Australia, they lost something like $37 billion because of the internet outage on the banking system in Australia. So no one was getting paid, their paychecks were not coming through, and they blamed it on, you know, a glitch. But some people are tweeting out, hey, I don't even use that payment system, and my paycheck still didn't get deposited. So remember this week I was telling you, hey, you should keep some cash out of the bank, you know, try and keep some cash. I think it was yesterday or the day before I was saying this, because the banking system, even here in the United States, is doing climate control. Like if there's an outage, what happens with the climate crisis? You know, because they're going to blame it on the climate crisis. But I don't think it's anything to do with the climate. I think it has to do with an intentional crash of the economy worldwide. So you're probably thinking, well, what does Australia's banking system have to do with us here in the United States? Well, you look at what happened in Australia when they started doing the lockdowns, right? Well, the lockdowns, they were the extremists. They were coming to your door saying, you know, oh, you didn't get the shot. Oh, you went more than 8 feet outside your door. You didn't get permission to go to the grocery store. That's what they were doing in Australia. That's pretty tyrannical. So I'm just giving you guys heads up. That could happen to us here in the United States, where your paycheck doesn't get deposited, where you're not able to get funds out of the bank. And if you don't have some cash set aside for these emergencies, and I think it's going to be not just a one-time thing, I think it's going to be multiple times. Now this morning I woke up and I saw that finally the 10-year Treasury pierced through the ceiling of 4%, which means interest rates for mortgages are going to start, we're already averaging, I think nationwide average is like 7.3 or something. Well, we're going to be seeing 8% 30-year fix for the best of the best if this continues. And what's that going to do to the housing market? Well, I'd say it adds a little bit of unaffordability to the high prices that we're experiencing right now, right? If we're experiencing, you know, debt to income ratios up at 50%, at 8%, who's going to qualify except for the uber rich, the upper, you know, 10%? That's it. And only 10% that can buy. Well, if only 10% can buy, guess what? House prices have to come down. And I don't care what Dave Ramsey says. He just, I mean, economics 101. If interest rates go to 7.5%, 8%, your $450,000 home is going to drop another 10%. That's going to go down to 400, 350. We're going to be seeing homes in the 200s. 200s. That's where we really need to be in order to get the market jump started again. So I thought the Australian shutdown, you can go search it on the internet. I'm not trying to fearmonger anybody. I'm just trying to get y'all prepared for what's coming. Now, had another interesting statistic. some of the Arizona's biggest investment companies that buy rentals and rent them out, well, they've cut their purchasing in half. I was told by an insider. I also thought another interesting statistic was we had, if you include expired listings and cancellations in the past 30 days, we've had almost 4,000. I don't know if you read some of the conversations on my Facebook, but yeah, we discovered we had close to 4,000 cancellations and expireds combined in 30 days. Now in June and July, we only closed 6,000 houses. So that's a pretty alarming number when you look at our housing market, right? That's pretty alarming. So, you know, combine that with under 7,100 homes under contract right now, the housing market is coming to a freeze. And I suspect we're gonna have some liquidity problems, meaning hard to get loans here in the near future with the bond market acting like it's acting. And I hope you're paying attention to the Bank of England. So there's all kinds of stuff happening around the world. Everything doesn't revolve around your open house, right? So if you have 5 or 6 people coming to your open house, that does not dictate the housing market at one location. Who knows? Maybe those are nosy neighbors. They probably were. So, I mean, I'm still closing homes. Just got 4 or 5 closing here within 30 days. I got 5 closing within 30 days. You know, and there are some great deals being had right now. But the question you have to ask yourself, you know, what's the future hold here? The stock market, I also woke up and saw across the board almost 2% down. So the S&P is right around 3,500. And I bet if I switch it back on and I go look at it, it's going to be below 3,500 today. They say it's going, you know, to 3,000. So I don't know if you know, if you're watching, if you have a 401k invested in the stock market, but all stocks were overvalued big time, and the money was just flowing. Same with houses. When they just dropped all the money, all that free money basically at, you know, 1 and 2 and 3% interest rates, of course it's going to drive prices up because there's going to be less things to buy and more money to buy them. So when there's less money to buy them, buy things, and it costs way too much, you know, the opposite's going to happen of what happened in the last 24 months. So I know a lot of people don't want to hear that in my industry, but you know what? Real estate goes in cycles, and that's just the way it is. It always has gone in cycles. So there's going to be slow times, there's going to be, you know, busy times. And we just went through the most amazing 2 years in real estate I've ever witnessed. So now we're at a 25-year low on mortgage applications. I mean, it is just getting crushed. I think the one bright spot is there's still some more, you know, refinance cash outs out there. People are tapping their equity, but you got to be careful because when values fall, you could find yourself upside down if you cash out to 80% and we fall 20. Well, you're not going to be able to refi into that lower rate if you max out your equity, you know, your cash out. So be careful out there, pay attention, keep some cash on hand. Go look up the Australian banking system today. It's just kind of ironic that I'm warning you to, you know, get some money out of the bank when the next day or two, boom, it happened. The bank shut down in Australia. And I know it's not here in the United States, but it could easily happen to us. So, hey, I hope you guys stay safe. I hope you guys are productive today, and I appreciate you watching. Thanks.